Well, it's a little bit different environment from what I'm used to. It's been really kind of rainy and cold here the last few days. I've been out here near Dallas for a week now already, I guess. Kind of losing my voice a little bit. So I've been staying in a hotel over yonder for the week. They got 2 people to a room. The company is paying for the hotel. Well, technically they're going to bill us for it, but it's they got a contract, so the rates are pretty reasonable. So once we actually start making money, then they'll start taking money out of our check to cover our expenses. But for the average person that hasn't got a few $1,000s to pay for truck driving school, I guess that's not a bad deal. It's kind of going for a quick walkabout here. I've been almost falling asleep in the room. So, today's Sunday. It's my first actual day off in the last week. So got here last Saturday. Sunday we had our first day of training, and then we've been hitting it every day. There's a lot to learn. So Sunday we started classroom training. It's a mix of company policies and DOT regulations and all kinds of interesting stuff. Wednesday we took our first testing to get the commercial driver's license permit. There's 4 tests you have to pass, and you have to pass them in order. So if you fail a test, you're done for the day. You have to come back the next day. Well, let's see, that was on Wednesday. I had an interesting situation there because you need to have, I think it was 2 pieces of, like 2 documents that showed your physical address. You had to be there for more than 30 days, and it had to be physical address. Oh, also they couldn't be too old, which was interesting. So where I live, there is no mail delivery out to my address, so everything I have is P.O. Box. So it took me until like 1:20, 1:30 in the afternoon to get enough things put together to actually get started doing testing. So I had to find a local branch of my bank, get them to print out a document that showed my physical address. Fortunately, that was on the bank. It's just not on our, it was on the bank account, but it wasn't on my bank statement because nothing gets mailed there. And then insurance, I was able to get my insurance company to fax a document. So basically I called them up and says, okay, change my address to my physical address, which was on the account, fax it to me, and then change it back again. She's like, okay, we can do that. So yay, So then I had my 2 pieces. So basically at 1:20 p.m. on Wednesday, I got to start testing. And since I was so late, and they made a big deal of letting us know that, it's going to take a while to get it done and everything. And if it doesn't go the first day, don't worry. You can just keep going back until you get it. All right. But at the same time, if you spend too much time over getting your license, then that's slowing you down for everything else. All right. So you try not to get too far behind. And anytime you're taking one of those, it's a computer-based test, and you look at it and you're like, okay, you think you know the answer, and you think about it, and then you read it again because the answers are tricky. And see if I can not die walking across the street here. So you make yourself slow down, read it again, right? Well, I usually do pretty good at multiple guess testing, so I got through the first 3 tests really quickly because I was short on time, because it was already 1 o'clock, 1:20 when I started. So what they had recommended is you take the first test. If you pass it, tell them you'd like to take a break. Go outside, whip out your book, do some more reading. And it was literally, the instructors have all said that this 3 weeks of school is not to teach you how to be a truck driver. Basically, the 3 weeks of school is a cram session to get you to the point where you can pass all of the testing that you need to do, and then you'll have basically time with one driver on the road, be your driving mentor, and he'll actually teach you the ins and outs of actually being a proficient company driver, you know. So that's a lot of it. It's like, you just cram, and then you go in and you hit the test and you just puke it all out again. So that's been interesting. But in the end, by 3 o'clock that day, so a little over an hour and a half, I had finished all 4 tests, got a pass on all of them, and walked out of there with my commercial driver's license learning permit, is what they call it, or CLP, commercial license permit. That gives me a minimum 14 days, 15 days, something like that. So I cannot get a commercial driver's license until at least 14 or 15 days have passed. But the idea was, the sooner I can get the permit, that clock starts. All right. So if it takes me a week to get the permit, that's just holding me up. Okay. And I'm not eligible to make money until I actually get my CDL. Once I have my CDL, then I can start driving and earning money. So before that, I'm basically racking up debt. You know, every day I'm in the room. Also, it's raining again, and I'm sitting here building up debt, not building up income. So it's to my advantage to hurry up and get out and make money. So now it's gonna rain. Anyway, so Wednesday I got my permit. Now it's just, let's see, Friday we spent time in a training simulator, which teaches us how to use like the double clutch, shifting for a manual transmission. Big trucks don't have synchros on the transmission, so you have to double clutch to get them to go in. That took a little bit of practice. Not there yet, but I'm getting closer. Let's see. 80% of the trucks, they tell us, are going to be automatics. It's believed that at this point the automatics are good enough, the company will not buy any more manual transmission trucks. So anybody who gets a license doesn't really have to get a manual transmission license. So the CDL has a restriction if you pass the test with automatic only. So if you take your driver's test with an automatic transmission, you have a restriction. It's kind of like if you have glasses, you have a restriction. But with this company, that may not be an issue. What they're saying is, typically if somebody really tries hard to get the manual transmission where you have basically unrestricted, that just makes the company think that you're probably just going to quit and go to another company. But so I'm going to see how that goes. My hope is to get past the test with the manual first. They say, yeah, you can try it a couple times. If it looks like you're not going to pass, they'll just put you in an automatic unless you just really fight them. So don't feel bad about the automatic kind of thing. Odds are, once I get out on the road, I'll be driving an automatic anyway, because that's what most of the trucks are. So really, my pickup is an automatic. It doesn't make me feel like less of a driver if I drive an automatic. That'd be kind of cool just to say, you know, for bragging rights, that I did pass in a manual, but it doesn't really sound like it's that big of a deal. The way I'm looking at it, my career, from my career point of view, odds are I'll drive for 3 or 4 or maybe 5 years, unless I just really have a lot of fun with it. I could drive longer. I've got about 10 years between basically now and when I'm eligible for minimum age retirement Social Security. My goal is within the next 3 or 4 years to have my land paid for, and then any money I make after that. I don't want to go by the freeway, it's too noisy over there. Any money I can make after I get the land paid off will just go into a nest egg so I can survive. And once my land is paid off, I can really afford, I think, then to live on Social Security because I won't have really many expenses. So that's kind of the goal. So, I drive for 3 or 4 years. As I get older, an automatic transmission in a truck would make a lot more sense. You're not beating yourself up as much, so I don't feel so bad about that, really. The company seems to be well regarded. I honestly didn't spend a lot of time doing research. I thought they had a good website, so I figured I'd apply with them first, kind of a thing. Yeah, I know. Didn't put a lot of thought into it. But I've always thought if I could get one good company, one good job, it'd be nice if it was my last job. I don't want to go through the job application process too many more times if I can help it. So it's kind of a quiet little neighborhood here. It's green, there's grass, there's trees. It's raining. It's about 40 degrees or something like that. And wouldn't you know it, it wasn't raining when I walked out, so I didn't wear my rain gear that I just bought. Yeah, I was looking at that, and most of the training we're going to be doing for the next 2 weeks is outside. And they said it's up to you. You all got smartphones. Check the weather report. So I was like, I hate getting rained on and being stuck outside, especially now that I caught a cold the last couple days again. So good luck finding rain gear anymore. Happened to find a Northern Tools that was close to where I was. So the rain gear they had was basically closed out. They didn't have any. The lady said they weren't expecting any more to come in, so it's just a matter of finding one that fit. It wasn't so much finding the best one. It's just which one could you get on, kind of thing. So but I figured odds are I'll need it for a while. So if I wear it a lot, it'll be worth it. If I don't wear it a lot, it should last me a long time. So there you go. Anyhow, let's see what else. The next part of our training is learning pre-trip inspection, which is just basically what you have to do to get certified, to get your CDL. There's 3 parts to the test. You have to show an instructor without prompting your pre-trip inspection, which is basically you walk around the truck and you simulate an inspection. A full inspection would take a lot longer, so you just kind of walk around, point at things, and explain what you're doing. So you identify, okay, this is the alternator, this is the lights, this is the power steering pump, this is what the brakes are, and you run through a list of inspection criteria using the correct words. And you have to do it out loud and professionally, not, just, you can't lean up against the tire and talk about it. You actually are pointing at different things and using words and phrases like the lights are amber in color and not broken, damaged, or cracked. The brakes are not covered in grease or oil, that kind of thing. And that'll take you about half an hour to do that. Then you do the in-cab part of it, which involves starting it up and testing the air brakes. And there's a whole series of things that happen there. Then you're going to do maneuvers, which involves backing, parallel parking a semi-tractor trailer with a 53-foot trailer. Yeah, whoever thought you could parallel park one of those things? A couple different offset backing and stuff like that. One is you back it in a straight line between cones. One is you back it, let's see, how is that? From one, start in one lane and then back it into another lane, basically. Like you were at one dock and then you pulled forward and then you backed it up to the next dock and then you back it up and stop it within a point, and then the parallel parking. And then you do an actual road test like you do for a regular driver's license. So you need to be able to drive around, do turns, do stops, not hit curbs when you're turning around corners, that kind of thing. Watch your duals when you're turning. So all that kind of stuff, and not kill anybody, I guess. Yeah. So basically, next 2 weeks I'll learn how to drive a truck. Yay. In the simulator, I think I hit just about every curb in that little fake town. There's going to be some learning involved. But that's what we're here for. Alright, that's pretty much it the last week. So, to anybody that's new to the channel, this isn't exactly what you're probably signed up for, but this is the direction I'm going in right now. I still am making payments on the land. The school bus is still out there. I'm just not there right now. The whole purpose for me being here is to make payments and pay off the land. Ironically, I think off-grid living is going to have some impact on my life in the next couple of years, because I'll be living in a truck for a lot of it, which is kind of like off-grid living. So that should have some relevance. What I'm hoping to do once I get through training is to get some kind of cool footage from out on the road. So some of it may be, the view out the windshield of the truck as I'm driving around interesting places. Some of it I may get to do little day trips in between runs, so one thing I'm hoping to be able to do is, between hauling loads, maybe take a day off and go explore someplace, that kind of a thing. So a little bit more traveling than I've been doing lately. Well, a lot more traveling, but maybe it'll be interesting. Yeah, I guess that's about it. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next one. Oh yeah, quick shot of the inside. We're living up the dream here. First thing I noticed when I walked in is there's no telephone in these rooms anymore. Who needs a phone when everybody's got smartphones? So we got 2 beds, 2 people to a room, queen size beds, a little microwave, a little tiny fridge. It's about twice as good as I'm used to at home, so really not too bad. It was a TV. I don't think it's been turned on since I've been here. I didn't turn it on, and the other guy didn't either. A little bit of shelves. I got a pile of stuff. Since I was not going to be out at the bus for, who knows when, I figured I'd just bring a bunch of stuff. So I got a whole tote full of food. And today I just went shopping. So brought that. I got a cooler, but there's really no food in it. And then my laundry and whatnot. Oh, rain gear. Nice and bright and yellow. And yeah, bathroom and shower and whatnot. We're living the dream here. So just did laundry today. Found a place that did drop-off service, so it was like $15, $16 for the whole basket. I'm like, sure, let them do it. I don't gotta mess with the machines, and they folded it for me. Life is good. And study material. I'm making flashcards. Yeah, how many times can you say no abrasions, bulges, cuts, leaks, not bent, broken, cracked, damaged, broken, grease, oil, debris, properly mounted, secured, not ripped, torn, or frayed on every frickin' thing you point at. Yeah, that's why I needed to walk. I was ready to fall asleep. Cool. Now you know. Stay tuned.